Welcome to the Ugandan Dream. We are back on site and progress is moving along nicely. Okay, we're back. The engineer is just measuring the windows because we are starting to get to the point where we're actually going to experiment with fitting windows and seeing how it would look. So the engineer is just measuring the windows, and as you can see, the plastering is going. They're doing all okay with the plastering. They could work a little bit faster, but they're getting there slowly because the conditions. So sometimes the plaster and the cement does not dry quick enough. So it's going well. The cinema room is looking good, and also you can see the roofing. It takes a quite large number of cement and layers for the plastering. So the boys are working well. They're doing the best they can considering the conditions. So we can see the roofs, the ceilings of the property. The plastering is going well, and this is a video that's actually a few videos back, but I just want to show you the skeleton of the scaffolding because the scaffolding manager is on site. The skeleton of the scaffolding for the roof before he had put the wooden planks, so you can see exactly how it looks when they are putting it on the skeleton. So this is the skeleton of the roof, and then we shall fast forward and go to where actually the wood planks are on, but you can see how it looks like before they put the wood planks on and how it works. This is the scaffolding for the roof, and the scaffolding manager with his team, they were busy. And then we shall fast forward onto the roof where the wooden planks are on, and then we shall also see the iron bars and the max pan. And I believe in this series, if we can, we shall start with the pouring of the concrete. So right now we are checking the iron bars. We just had a delivery, and it's important that you have a good security guard on site because these iron bars are very, very expensive. So we have our guy who actually lives on site. We built a home frame on the site, so he's just showing us and giving us the number. He keeps the books and how many iron bars have been delivered, because these are very, very expensive. So we just checking, making sure everything is here. The scaffolding manager also is here to make sure that all the material he's requested is on site, and our engineer is also here. And in a few days, the project manager, she will be here as well on the site to come and make sure everything is working. But she's also working in the back, in the background, making sure the numbers, the money, the payments, and everything is working, and project is going fine. So yeah, let's see what's going on. So let us take a walk up onto the roof. Now you have to be very careful here because we have a ladder and it's a bit dangerous, but there's some things, you just gotta do. So we back up here on the roof, and as you can see, the iron bars have arrived, and the scaffolding manager is and his team, they straight to work. And this is about 2 days after we saw the iron bars arrive. They first put in the structure, the skeleton structure that's going to hold the roof. So this is what we are seeing here. Once again, they're working on a deadline, so we had a very good scaffolding and shattering manager, so his team was efficient and they didn't play around. They really worked well at the time and the speed and the deadline we gave them. So that's the man in the blue, man dressed in blue. So yes, let's see what they're up to.
Health and safety. What is the health and safety? Okay, you shut up. What you call it?
Again, on the site is busy. People are working, and they're also just doing some touch-ups on the inner wall, and everything is going according to schedule. Taking a break from the site, we decided to visit a new investment opportunity that was mentioned to me by a friend. It was called Palm Villas, so we decided to visit it and to have a look and see how it's going and if there was any opportunity for investment, if it made sense. So we just had to drive around. They've actually started to build the whole compound, and they also started to build a few apartments. So we just had to have a look and see. Sometimes it's good to have a look around at other projects and see if you can be inspired, if there's any ideas you can take from them, or collaborate and work. So these are the houses that have already started to be built. Back on site the next day, and the plastering carries on for the roof, for the ceiling part, and as you can see, the scaffolding has gone up on the balcony at the front, and also the living room has the scaffolding all the way to the roof. So let's have a look. Let's pop upstairs and see what the guys are up to. Let's have a look and see what the team is doing. They're still with the iron bars, with the skeleton structure, the skeleton beam, which is going to hold the concrete and hold the structure together. So it's important that this is actually measured. And also we have the engineer on site, but also what we do at this part, we also bring in another engineer. So we have two engineers on site, and he just overlooks, and they both talk together, and if there's any adjustment needed, the engineers would agree, and then also we would agree, and we will make the amendments as needed, because on this site we actually increase the strength of the roof of the iron bars. We actually went up extra level in terms of the strength of the iron bars, but that was because both engineers saw that it needed a bit more strength on the roof because of what was going to be doing on the roof in terms of entertainment and adding extra structure. So it's good that you have your engineer, and we also have a second engineer that we bring in to just overlook, because two heads are better than one, and then we all agree as a team, and then we carry on. After a few days, the max pans started to arrive. The max pans will go in the steel iron bars, and the structure engineer kind of improvised in terms of how we'll get the max pans onto the roof as fast as possible, because we're working on a deadline. So we set up a temporary structure to get the max pans up onto the roof. So you can see the max pans are on the roof and they're being fitted in. Also, the engineer had started work on the stairs leading all the way to the roof, the flat roof. So they're looking good, and we could now walk up on these stairs without using that dangerous ladder. But yeah, so everything is looking good. We're on schedule. The max pans are here, and then we'll be doing some finishing touches. With the scaffolding / shattering manager, we're just having a quick catch up, and I recommend that you have updates and catch ups with your managers on the site, and you just get to have a feel for how the project is going. And sometimes he suggests some stuff which I may agree with, which I may not agree with, and ultimately the decision is up to me to make the choice. But it's good to get their input and sometimes say, you know what, okay, I think what you're saying is correct, let's add an extra iron bar there and there. But as you can see, the project is going well. After about 4 days, because the work was actually ahead of schedule, we were able to call in the electrician to start to put in the pipe work for the wires and the cups for the lights and so on. So the electrician is on site with his team, and we are actually ahead of schedule for the pour of the cement. So everything was going good, and engineer was on site making sure everything is working well, and we were also on site just overlooking and making sure if there's anything that needs to be changed, we will change it at this point. But so far so good. After about a week and 4 days, it was time for the concrete pour of the roof. The boys were ready. We had all the machinery on site, we had the water, and they were just going through each and every person's job, an individual, and what they need to do. And we also used a concrete mix, a special concrete mix, because the roof was going to be flat, and this special concrete mix that we used, it helps when there is rain and there is water, that it does not go through the roof. So we used a special concrete mix, and the boys started to pour the roof. Now, at the stage of pouring the concrete for the roof, it is very important that you first sit down with your project manager, engineer, and scaffolding manager, and you crunch the numbers, because we had budgeted for about 30,000, that's pounds, to pour the whole roof for the house, in terms of the concrete, iron bars, the wood, wages, everything, max pan. But after sitting down with the project manager and doing the calculations and also the transport material, we actually saw that the 30,000 budget we had, it was going to go over. So after crunching the numbers, we actually went over by at least, I would say, £11,000. So, but we anticipated that because we sat down with the project manager, and when she crunched the numbers, she said, look, it's going to cost more than what you had budgeted for. So, and this is something, once you start it, you must finish it. You cannot stop and say, I'll come back in a few months when I get the money. No, when you start pouring concrete, especially on the roof on a project like this, it has to finish. So you do not want to come with not enough money and then they start the concrete pour and then you don't finish it, because then you basically have to start again, because the iron bars can rust, the max pan can spoil, the wood starts to expand. So you have to make sure when you're doing a project like this and you're pouring concrete that you have crunched the numbers. So whatever you think your budget is, I'd always say, if they tell you the budget to pour concrete for a roof is going to be 10k, I would say budget and come with about 19 to 17k extra, just in case you have to go over your budget. So here we had budgeted for 30,000 and we actually went over by 11,000, taking us to £41,000 total to pour this roof. That's with the wages, with the material, everything. So it was very, very costly, but at the same time, one thing that I recommend is when you're building in Uganda, you do things perfect the way you want them, and you do it once, so you won't have to do it again. So once we've done this is very unique. Not many homes in Uganda, they normally have the slanted roof, and we want to come with new ideas, because we want to come with new ideas, fresh ideas, and this space up here is gonna create, we're gonna have entertainment up here. We're gonna actually build another structure up here which is also going to be entertainment, and it's going to be a place where you can relax, you can have your evening coffee, evening tea, and you can also entertain guests up here, because up here we when we calculated, we could get about 30 people up here, like a rooftop party, like a rooftop bar. So it cost us a lot of money. It was expensive, but it's going to be worth it when the project is finished, because we have big plans for entertainment on the roof, and of course the view is worth it. There's no money that you can put on that view. It's amazing. So when you are pouring concrete, you must do your calculation. That's why it's important to have your project manager, and our project manager, of course, she has been on this site since the inception. She was even actually the person who when I wasn't in the country, who built the whole wall that you see. So it's important that you have an experienced project manager who actually knows the terrain of Uganda and knows how things work. Don't just hire any random project manager. Have someone that has experience that can show you work that they've done. And our project manager, she has over 20 years experience in building in Uganda. She's built many houses and many projects. So, she knows exactly where to go and how to get things and how to do it. So, yeah, so the boys are pouring the concrete roof. It's going good. Let's have a look and see what they're doing. As we are coming to an end to this episode, that's it, guys, for this week's Uganda Dream. Tune in next week, the next episode, and we shall see going.